Hey guys, what's up? It is May 11th, and we're sitting here in studio. It's Sal, Matt, Bobby, and myself.
And Rich.
Who we actually just found out that Rich, who is our head engineer, chief engineering officer, technically, of the podcast.
Owner-operator of the podcast.
Owner-operator of the podcast, has not left us a review on any of our platforms. So kind of a disappointing day.
I mean, don't you guys usually want 5-star reviews?
Damn. Sad trombone.
Yeah. That was tough. That was tough.
Oh, I'll get it done. I'll do it this week.
Yeah. What, Brad, you want to talk about last night?
Yeah, so last night we got together. We had one of our events last night at Sports and Social. It was a real loose, casual networking event. We had, I think, like 15 people show up all together. So it was kind of a last-minute deal. We had a speaker that backed out on our prior engagement that we were going to have. So last minute, Blues game, Cardinals game, we went downtown, met some people, just hung out. It was pretty chill. I enjoyed it. It was nice. And I think we talked that we're going to start doing those like bi-monthly. So every other month we'll have like a more official mastermind type meeting. And then the following month we'll do a real casual get together somewhere, restaurant, and just shoot the shit type deal.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we learned from that is, although like the masterminds, the actual masterminds, it's cool to have the speaker. There's a lot of structure and organization going into them. But they're even with like the before and after shit, there's really not enough time to like sit down and talk with people and get to know people. So we figure we just go all out every other month on one of those big ones, and then do a monthly get together where we go get drinks or we go get food or we go watch a game, and just make it a little less informal and a little more get to know each other and see if we can help each other out.
Yeah, I had a blast. I got to talk to John Gibbs for quite a bit last night, and I never had a one-on-one conversation with him that wasn't about just whatever was going on with like the mastermind or things like that. And he just finished 75 hard yesterday, so shout out to him for doing that. And yeah, he actually used to be a fat kid too, like me. So we bonded over that. We used to both be about the same size. So it was cool catching up with him, and we actually texted a little bit today too. So really good, like you said, to talk with people in a more relaxed environment rather than be something that's super formal. So excited to keep doing that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and Sal was there with some buddies before the game. He went and checked out the game, which was cool. Harrison Bader hit the first inside the park home run in Busch Stadium history.
No.
That Busch Stadium. You knew it. Most people knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
here.
Sal.
But, yeah.
Sorry.
And so that was cool. We were there to see that. But Sal is our coordinator of all current event topics. So,
at least I'm glad you redeemed yourself a little bit, because you showed up for like 5 minutes at that event, completely missed the last event. And it was, what was the last event? He was like, oh, I got a trivia.
Yeah, trivia night.
Gotta stay up to date on the current events, bro. Trivia helps me out.
Whatever, Sal.
No, but it was fun. Pretty good weather, pretty hot at first, but no, that was fun. I'm excited to do more of those.
And we did grab some content right before our videographer got kicked out of the place. But so we'll post something up here in the next couple days probably with that. But let's dive into what's going on in the world right now. Probably the most interesting thing, I think, is Tom Brady signs a deal with Fox Sports for $375 million for a 10-year contract. Over the course of his 20-year career, he's made what, 325 or
333.
$333 million. To put that into perspective, I think Romo makes $17.5 million. So this is a huge step up. And what I also think is super interesting about it is, do we even know if he's going to be a good broadcaster? Like, they just threw a huge contract at him, and we don't even know if he's going to be a good broadcaster.
No.
Like, everybody seems to really like Romo, but
that was a surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that was a big surprise, because nobody really, I mean, not that they disliked him, but because he was on the Cowboys, like, he wasn't that good of a quarterback.
So the cool thing about Romo is, like, whenever he calls games, he can like predict which play is happening. So he will literally like see the formation, literally call the play, and then as soon as the ball is hiked, that's exactly what he's been calling.
Yeah,
we don't have that type of aspect from like other announcers.
That's definitely the appeal of Romo, is that he can sit there and he can, because he's, I guess, played the game for so long, he can call it out, and he has gotten really good at it. And he's like one of the I mean, obviously he's only been doing it for a couple of years, but he's one of the best at doing it right now for sure. I think the fact that it's Tom Brady, the fact that he's the greatest of all time, the fact that everybody like in America loves the guy, I think they're trying to get ahead of it because Romo was. I personally think it will. I don't necessarily know. I don't think it'll be worth their investment.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't think so either. I think it would be super cool if they got Peyton Manning in the booth with them. That would be cool.
Yeah, Manning's great. I mean,
the Manning one, it's him and his brother at ESPN. It's one of the best things to like listen to on Monday Night Football. It's so funny.
I don't think Brady has like the ad hoc.
I was trying to look back to see who was chewing gum because
I'm pulling Colin right now.
I'm the only one that wears headphones, so I'm just sitting
you
here
can
listening.
just hear chomping.
What everybody else is gonna hear for the first half of this.
My bad. That fucking sucks.
Cool. I'm not editing out every chew though.
Yeah. No, but I don't think like I do love Tom Brady as a competitor. I just don't think he's got the personality, like the ad hoc personality. Like when it's scripted and when it's in one of his like Instagram videos or was in a commercial, I think he's good. I think like just kind of ad lib, like spur of the moment type stuff. I just don't think he's that interesting. You know what I mean?
Did you watch
He's boring.
whenever they did the match and it was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and all that? Did you happen to watch that? So I think that would probably change your mind seeing him kind of like you said, like that ad hoc type deal. I don't know. I think that he'll be good. I mean, that's a ton of fucking money, especially for someone whose career is not even over yet. But knowing how Tom Brady is good at just about everything, I feel like he'll smash it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And I do think
Just
that
speculation.
officially seals the deal that this will be his last year. Like, I don't think he's gonna
We'll see.
why not? Like, go sit in a booth and get paid almost $40 million.
I think his contract's up after this year for football.
It was a 1 year. Yeah, right?
No, 2 years.
It was a 2 year?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, he retired. He came out of retirement?
Yeah.
After,
He still had a year left.
Got it. So I've got one that's not on ours, but I feel like it's pretty interesting. Have you guys been seeing, which you don't hear about this a lot, the inner workings of all the drama at Barstool?
Yes.
Yeah, I
have.
did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
I went down the rabbit hole last night on Twitter.
So one of my favorite podcasts is Pardon My Take, who this guy on there.
Second favorite podcast.
Hank. Well, one of my podcasts I'm not involved in. So yeah. Hank is the producer there, and in his Big Cat and PFT. And then there's this guy, I don't even know what the fuck Marty Mush, the other guy, does. I know he did their boxing thing, and I think he does some of their like sports gambling stuff, if I had to guess. But Hank dated Rhea, who's Chicks in the Office girl, for a really long time, like 4 years or something like that. And they had just broken up, and they decided to say, okay, we'll keep this as clean as possible. We're not going to date anybody in the office. And then all these pictures came out on Reddit of Marty Mush and Rhea talking. So the interesting thing, though, is Barstool, in my opinion, has always been one that's like when they're in the drama, I guess, well, actually, it's not that interesting. When they're in the drama, they just feed the fuck into it.
Yeah.
Like they just push forward with it and double down. So instead of being like, hey guys, let's fucking keep this under wraps, like the whole office is split.
Yeah.
And then they're like interviewing people within the office. And then some people are like, listen, I'm not like Big Cat got on one podcast. He's like, I don't, wish any ill will on the guy. Like, I don't want to fuck up his career, but I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like, if I see him, I'm not going to talk to him. That's about it, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, they're totally split. We were just talking about Tom Brady. Even Tom Brady weighed in on it too. I don't know if you saw that, but I think it was
Team Hank.
Yeah, Julian Edelman, I think, was the first one to tweet Team Hank, and then he retweeted it and said cosign. And it's just like the ultimate just fall from grace for Marty Mush, who's just like not an attractive dude whatsoever. And Rhea's not a bad looking girl. And it's just like, I just feel like that's a complete downgrade. And I don't know too much about all the different people at Barstool, but they do such a good job of marketing themselves. And it's fun to see the back and forth on Twitter now.
And I also saw something associated with this, that there's like a burner account on Twitter.
Yes.
That is like, basically, I don't know if was it like so many retweets or so many follows.
Yeah, so there's a person that is just like the biggest Barstool fan that follows all of them, that is like apparently such a whiz in terms of internet that he knows who in the office has burner accounts and has has basically the paper trail to leak back to it. So they said if Team Hank got trending, that he would go ahead and just post everybody that has a burner account that's been talking shit on everybody in the office. Now that I talk about it, it makes more and more sense. Like they now have a fucking soap opera in the middle, like they have a reality TV show in the middle of Barstool because of this.
So, okay, this might be slightly off topic, but since we're talking about Barstool, I told somebody this a couple months ago. Like, we have ESPN, right? But what would you rather tune into as a sports show? Would you rather have like a Barstool sports channel or ESPN? Because I feel like in 5 to 10 years, like Barstool could be like a serious threat for like, you know, your go-to information as far as that sort of stuff. Like, I'd much rather watch a Barstool episode than tune into SportsCenter.
For me, it's I have always been pulling up ESPN. I stream it, so like every morning whenever I'm getting ready, I have ESPN SportsCenter AM playing in the background. But I guess it just depends on what they put out. So like whenever it comes to Sundays during NFL season, they always do. I can't remember exactly what they call the series, but I'll watch like it's like usually 15 to 20 minutes of speculation on that week's games. But I don't know. I grew up with ESPN, so I feel like I'm a little bit biased, but I probably would watch both.
Yeah.
I can do without the Disney shit. Yeah, like kids, stuff like that. But especially people like us, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Anybody that listens to this podcast, I mean, we did a out of the norm self-development podcast, right? We're not fluffy. We're not buttoned up. Like we say fuck shit. Like we're able to cuss. And it's like having people like not only that are commentating on the games, but some of these guys are going to be commentating and they're all also betting on the games. Yeah. That adds another added layer of like suspense. I would watch that all day. I'm assuming they're not far behind.
That's what I think.
As soon as they can pay someone like Shaq and they can get someone off of these like not like the game broadcasts, but like the pregame, postgame, halftime shows and stuff like that, and get those guys to cuss on there, then I think you're going to see a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like from ESPN, I'm more on to Bleacher Report. They're somehow like a little bit quicker at updating like what's going on around the world compared to ESPN. ESPN's like probably like 5-10 minutes late to me, but like they're also athletes, like retired athletes are creating podcasts and stuff, and they're talking about current events and like listening to some of their stories lately. It's been cool because they don't bring that to like the ESPN side. So like Warren Sapp is they just did a podcast with the Pivot podcast, and he was bringing about like CTE, how he's up to that year range where he's starting to have like blanks in his memory where it's affecting that CTE. So that was cool to talk about because ESPN's not going to talk about it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a transition period, probably the next 5 to 10 years, because you look at like even like the Nelk Boys. I think they have like such a cult following, and like they started off doing stupid videos on YouTube, and now they're interviewing like high profile people although it's a relaxed manner like we would, so those people can also come on our podcast. But they do hit them with hard questions too, and I think that's going to be like the new trend. Like I could see Barstool. I don't think you'll ever overtake like the powers of Disney and ESPN, but I do think you're going to see a lot more following to a place like Barstool.
Yeah. Cool. So that one probably took a little bit longer than expected. What else do we have?
So something that Sal sent that I would have had no idea was happening is that the iPod has been discontinued. I didn't know they were even still making the iPod.
They finally laid it to rest. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that was the news came out like a couple of days ago. I didn't even know they were still making new ones too. I thought it was like they stopped making it back in like 2017.
I still got like the 160 gig or the 80 gig or whatever it was, and that was the main way that you listen to all your music. We didn't have it on our phones.
I used LimeWire. So. I never used an iPad.
What's that?
I had never had an iPad, so I was just used like CDs and like burner.
What was always impressive about an iPod, though, is the battery lasted fucking forever. Yep. And I'm sure the new ones are probably just like an iPhone that just can't call. So the battery probably sucked on those. I'm sure you could probably go on the internet with the new iPods. But pretty impressive that they finally discontinued it. As far as the technology stuff goes, too, FIFA and EA Sports have broken apart, which this happened with NCAA, right? At one point, the game. That's why we haven't seen an NCAA game for so long.
I think they're bringing back NCAA. They just created a contract because of how the players are able to now get paid
Yeah.
The college players are not getting paid, so I think they're bringing that back. But like FIFA, the whole thing with FIFA, it's like FIFA as an organization is really, really corrupt. It's been going on since forever. And like
Why?
there,
What do
it's
you mean
just
they're corrupt?
some of like the higher members just take money off for like things like for World Cup, it went to Dubai when it should have been coming to the US. But now the USA is getting in like 2024 or 2026, but it should have happened sooner.
Yeah.
But it's just like a bunch of leeway. That I just don't know how to get more into detail about it, but it's been going on for years.
So what happened here? Because I saw the headline. So they asked, because I saw they brought like, what was it? The game alone brought in $20 billion in sales over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So $1 billion a year. But what, like, did they ask for too much money or
Well,
what?
yeah. So FIFA's asking for $1 billion for a contract. I was like, there's no video game company that's going to like.
Yeah, I was
issue a
pretty blown
contract
away
for
by
naming-
$1 billion. Like, that's a humongous number. Like,
Right.
I know soccer is a huge sport, but when we're talking strictly like a video game, that like niches it down even further. And then the fact of soccer isn't quite as popular here as it is in Europe. I thought $1 billion was a huge price tag.
So, but the EA Sports, like the actual, like, you know, like there's like leagues and shit.
Yeah.
It's like like FIFA's huge, like bigger.
Oh
like,
yeah, I play FIFA
bigger
every
than
year.
any. Like you see, like the Madden ones, like the professional Madden players and all that. Like apparently FIFA just trumps that,
Yeah.
especially across the world.
FIFA's number one for like sporting games wise, and then I think comes Madden, and then 2K. 2K is like kind of
Yeah.
tied with that,
Jeez.
and NHL is slowly coming up too. But like I've been playing FIFA since like FIFA 11. And
Well, it looks like the NCAA college football with EA Sports is coming back in the summer of 2023, according to the CEO of Collegiate Licensing. So looks like we'll see that come back here soon.
For sure. So I had one that's not on here, and it's just we'll keep this really short because you guys know Peloton has just been fucking tanking. So at one point they were worth.
Did another person die in a Netflix episode or
No,
something like
yeah.
that on a
no,
Peloton?
no, I think they're just putting themselves in the graves at this point. So 50 billion at one point. You know how much they're worth now?
Is it like 200 million or?
It's in the billions still.
It's still in the billions.
But it's 4 billion.
Oh, wow.
So going
Damn.
from 50 billion to 4 billion. And it's in less than I mean, they had to peak like mid-pandemic in 2020. So we're talking year and a half. In that short of time, that's fucking insane.
Somebody will eventually buy them out. I don't know if it'll be like an Apple and Amazon, but they will get bought out. And I don't know if this is like there was talks about it a couple months ago about them getting bought out, and the stock actually went up for like a week after that. And then it came out that was actually not true and it didn't get bought. So then the stock literally just turned around, went the other way again.
Yeah, they do have a new CEO, and that's kind of why they
Yeah.
made news. So that was interesting.
That's one of those deals though. It's like you literally have an exercise bike at home. I mean, my wife has one. She rides it like every single day, but that's got to be a very small percentage of people that actually buy a $2,500 bike or whatever they cost and use it every day. It's just like a gym membership. Like gyms thrive off of people who don't show up. Like that's their business model. So it's kind of different for Peloton because you need people to be paying that membership to go ride the bike.
Yeah. So, Brad, I'll just tee it up for you because I knew you were going to bring it up. Your boy Musk plans to unban your boy Trump on Twitter, saying that like straight up that it was a fucking dumb move by them.
Yeah, so I actually didn't read a whole lot about what Elon said. I think he did have like some stipulations about it, like moving forward. I didn't read it, so I probably shouldn't talk on it a whole lot. But I do think Trump said that even if he was unbanned, he said he wasn't going to come back. So
He did, but like people are still talking about it. But whenever we talked last, I thought someone was mentioning that he might be under some contract with Truth Social to where he can't. I don't know. I don't know the validity to that, but they're still talking about it, obviously. I guess Elon just made it like completely official, which to me is more of a statement.
Yeah.
So whether he comes back or not, I think he's just trying to make a point to show the direction that he's going in with the platform.
And that's all I think it was too. I think it was just a way to be like, hey, this is what's happening. Like, if you don't like it, see you later or whatever. And that's the part that I kind of like about Elon. He's pretty transparent with everything he does. If you don't like him, you don't like him. And I don't think he cares either way.
Yeah. I'm a fan. What else we got? Is that it?
I think that's good enough.
Rich, what do you say at 20 minutes? Good enough.
Edit out the awkward silences.
Could you nix those for us?
And we can sound cool,
Yeah, appreciate that.
cooler.
Yeah, guys. So come back for our episode that'll drop a couple days. That's going to be on flexibility and adaptation in the business.
Cool. We appreciate it, guys. Deuces.
Light it.